Hey guys, this is Pat Shears at SimCloud by Website Pipeline. Appreciate you joining the webinar today. Hopefully we give you some good insight on some of the things we're seeing in the B2B space, particularly to those using Sage 100 ERP systems. And we're going to go through a quick presentation on how to, in our eyes, future-proof your Sage 100 system. So some of the key topics I'm going to hit today are key motivators in the B2B landscape or arena of what's going on, what trends are happening, and how companies are trying to further their digital transformation as an organization. Also go over some of the SimCloud products that we have built and used for our customers to allow them to leverage new cloud data hubs and cloud data to drive different applications to streamline their business. So the first and foremost, first thing we're going to go into are the key motivators. So this topic of cloud ERP systems and what's happening in the market, I'm sure many of you as business owners have either looked into or have done some light reading on some of the advantages, disadvantages, so forth and so on of potentially moving to a different cloud-based ERP system versus what you're currently using, which is the Sage 100 on-premise solution. So there's a couple quick topics that I'm going to hit specific to this trend or these trends within your types of organizations or industries and how those relate to the digital transformation. So the first topic I'm going to hit is customer experience. The next one I'm going to hit is digital crisis. We'll get into more information on that. We'll then jump over into talent skills, talent acquisition and retention, and new marketing agendas that you may have as an organization. So these are all centered around some of the topics, big picture, that are happening within your industries. And we're going to jump into those in more specifics here now. So the customer experience, as an organization, you're probably thinking, how do we take our information or our existing Sage 100 data? Do we want to continue to leverage that to try to build additional tools that can communicate with that, or do we want to completely go with a different ERP system? So one of the key motivating factors of trying to have that conversation in terms of cloud connectivity and getting your real-time business critical data to other applications. So the customer experience is a main driver of that. And specific to the SimCloud application, some of the key pieces that we touch on to help future-proof your Sage 100 and leverage that existing landscape or infrastructure that you've already spent time, money, and energy on training, all the good stuff that's going on now currently. There's no need to disrupt that completely if you're looking to try to better engage your customers and give them a better customer experience. So some of the quick bullets that we hit within our SimCloud application, you want to give your customers real-time access to information, allowing them to essentially view some of the business critical data that historically has been locked down in your ERP system on the back end. You also want to provide them 24/7 support. So we can all thank Amazon and some of the leaders in e-commerce, so to speak, of shaping the perception and behaviors of consumers. So I know I'm an avid Amazon user. It's very simple to use. I'm able to get my information anytime I'd want right on my smartphone. So I never have to get on the phone with customer support. I can do everything on my own, view information, view past order history and things like that, all through my device because they're sharing their business critical data with me as an end user or customer. So one of the main driving forces, so to speak, of that cloud connectivity and trying to future-proof your Sage 100 can be centered around that 24/7 support and real-time access to information. Ultimately, what this drives is self-service options, so customers no longer need to be sending emails with orders or waiting for your business hours to call up customer service to check in on an invoice or things like that. You want to give them the tools remotely to grant them access to their information, to interact with that information anywhere, anytime, and on any device. That's one of the main driving features or concepts driving the overall market push to cloud connectivity. Another key component of this cloud connectivity concept, digital transformation, is just essentially where everyone's going and why they're going there. So currently I pose the question to you, what is your digital transformation status as of today? Have you thought about it? What are your initiatives throughout 2019 and a couple years down the road even after that? So just a quick data point here from Forrester here. 60% of executives when surveyed, they believe they're behind this digital transformation concept. One of the main hurdles there is looking long-term and being able to strategically identify how you want to leverage this digital transformation journey, whether it is trying to move over to a cloud database type concept where remote employees or customers can gain access, other applications can gain access to your business critical data. And there's also the economic growth or commitment that goes along with that. So it's a lot of time and energy to be able to go through the path or down the path of digital transformation. There's a lot of different consultants out there or publications that give you some insight into the whole digital transformation realm. It is a big commitment, but specific to your Sage 100 data and your current infrastructure as a business, one of our key initiatives is to provide a tool set that will leverage cloud connectivity without you having to disrupt your entire business and infrastructure by ripping out a perfectly good beating heart and replacing it with what some people are trying to push on those cloud ERP systems. So we're going to go through some of that as well. Also, from a strategic standpoint, for those business owners listening to this recording, you want to try to leverage as much of the existing infrastructure and data that you currently have and push that to new connectivity platforms or applications that can drive or further create value to your customers and employees with that existing infrastructure. Because again, you've spent time, money, and energy on that in terms of deploying that. Then you have training. Then you have internal process that's all tied to that. So it's really the heartbeat of your organization, and it's very disruptive to try to rip that out and completely change your ERP system, which is the backbone of how you do business day in and day out. So just a quick question to pose to you, to get the wheels turning and maybe some thought provoking there. So the next piece I want to hit is talent acquisition and retention. This is an interesting topic that when business leaders are looking at trying to identify what the next step is in their digital transformation journey. I know that buzzword, we keep saying it, but essentially when you're looking at it, one of the topics that doesn't get brought up quite often is the talent acquisition and retention. Forrester, again, did a survey and basically asked those organizations that fell into the realm of digital leaders, meaning they were at the top of the list when it came to adopting and deploying new age technology and really going down that digital transformation path. They asked them, and they felt that they had 90% of the talent needed to execute as an organization. Versus if you go and look at some of the other companies within different industries that may be more of the digital laggards, so to speak, where they haven't really pushed through new technology through their organization. They haven't adopted or migrated over to a 100% cloud ERP-based platform or things like that. Those that felt they were digital laggards, when they were asked the question, do you have the talent needed to execute at a high level as an organization? 19% of them said yes. So there's a big difference here. And I would venture to say that the majority fall in this digital laggards realm of things. So I think we're all in the same boat here of trying to figure out ways that make sense from an economic commitment standpoint and also just from a business standpoint to mitigate disruption. How can we better leverage technology that's out there that plays well with my existing platform and infrastructure? So that's some of the key pieces we're going to bring up today. The next piece here, revitalizing your marketing strategy. This is also another main focus of a lot of business leaders out there specific to the B2B world. You want to focus on customer experience. That is a hot topic right now, especially with a lot of different business models, or not a lot of different business models, but a lot of different businesses are looking towards that subscription-based model where a lot of the power is now put into the customer's hands rather than the organization that's providing a solution or service. So you definitely want to focus on customer experience. That is where customers are now demanding certain aspects of their interactions with you as a vendor, so to speak. So you want to make sure that it's clean. You want to protect that customer base that you currently have, and you also want to try to expand on that because you do in fact instill a great customer experience, and that messaging and that word of mouth tends to travel very quickly. You want to try to synchronize your communication between what different types of outlets your customers can interact with you as their vendor or provider. So you want to make sure that the messaging is consistent, the branding is consistent, and always on par, so to speak, of what your overall mission or value add statement is as an organization, whether you're providing products or services. So keep that in mind as you're driving towards this digital transformation journey and really what software applications you're looking to deploy to help you do so. The third and final bullet here, individualize your customer interactions. Again, this touches back on that Amazon-esque type environment. You want to make sure that when your customers are interacting with their information with your organization, that it's a very personalized experience. A good example in our application, which I can get into here in a little bit, as we provide or we pull up sales order history or invoice history data from Sage 100, and we create these dynamically built smart lists, so to speak, that basically shows the customer what they're buying behavior has been with you as a customer. So an example of that is what are the last 10 orders that I placed and what was the most frequent product that I did order in those last 10 orders, just as an example. But it's utilizing the data in your Sage 100 system to give them a better experience, just to have a holistic view of how they interact with you as their vendor. So keep that in mind as you're going through some of the strategy on your digital transformation journey, so to speak. So that was just a quick highlight level of 10,000 foot view of the key motivators kind of happening in the B2B arena in that world, and what some of the trends are currently, where they're projected to go, and how they're operating within different organizations. The next piece I'm going to touch on here is the Cloud Data Hub. So now I'm getting more into the SimCloud product, so to speak, and how it can future-proof your Sage 100 instance so that you can better leverage the existing platform that you have to better serve your customers and employees as well. So the platform overall, the platform itself, there's a couple different pieces, but in a nutshell, the infrastructure of what we build as an organization is leveraging your Sage 100 data to be able to use that anywhere, anytime, and on any device. So historically, Sage 100 is an on-premise solution. We have now built software that can bolt on to that infrastructure to convert that on-premise solution into a cloud data hub, driving many different types of applications, being able to communicate or push and pull data to and from third-party applications, and also leveraging our front-end application that ties into very nicely this cloud data hub. So the overall platform itself, here is a quick diagram that kind of gives you some insight here on what we do or provide as an organization. So at the bottom, you see your Sage 100 system. We want that to be the backbone, the main system of record for your organization. And we don't want to create different applications out there that you then have to manage separately. So we want to continually talk to the Sage 100 database, being able to leverage that data. We install the sync tool right on the Sage server. So this ERP sync tool, again, the foundation of our application, or what really drives our applications, is installed there. It is a bi-directional integration. It provides real-time, up-to-date information to our Cloud Data Hub from your Sage 100 system. So it's not periodically syncing twice a day or anything like that. There's triggers that we set up on those tables. It's a very tight-knit integration to be able to leverage that and a true extension of that Sage 100 system. So it's real-time, and we use what we call perfect sync. A cool feature of our sync tool, in fact, at the enterprise level, is we fingerprint data when it's in Sage 100, and then when it lands in our Cloud Data Hub, we compare those fingerprints just to make sure that the data does line up with what you have in your system, because at the end of the day, if the data is not accurate with Sage 100, you're going to have problems. So that there's some serious focus on our product development that makes sure that data integrity is protected. So that is the backbone of our application, the sync tool itself. And from the sync tool, we offer different variations or flavors of our products. So on the left there, we do have options just to leverage our Cloud Data Hub as an API environment to be able to communicate to other third-party applications. So think of if you got a Shopify site and you're doing 500-600 orders a month and you're tired of exporting those orders out from Shopify and then having someone hand key those into Sage 100, we can use our Cloud Data Hub in a RESTful API environment to be able to pull those sales orders into Sage 100 for you. So that you don't have to do that manually. Again, just trying to automate everything. Again, going down that digital transformation journey of letting software and technology work for you, rather than spending time and energy of the manual sales order entry concept or example that I just gave. So that's one piece or flavor of our product offering. The next piece there, you can see we have e-commerce for public and private. We have B2B specific self-service portals. So if you have customers that have customer specific pricing, different pricing terms, things like that, we'll use that data in real time and give them an environment to log in and self-serve. So again, very much like the Amazon effect or self-service account management type concept. Then on the far right, we also, within the same application, which is part of the entire SIM story, customer interaction management software, which is a category we created. If you're not aware of that, definitely check our website out and get more information on that. I'm not going to dig in too far here for this particular webinar, but you can certainly find that information at simcloud.com. But anyway, we build employee tools within the same application as your e-commerce store. So the neat thing here is it's still leveraging the foundational syncing of Sage 100, but being able to then deliver that data remotely to sales reps, to customer service reps. Gives them a CRM application as well to document activities. There's reporting and management tools in there. So again, it's this combination of combining e-commerce and sales and CRM type functionality into one platform, but building that from the integration of Sage 100 up. So that was our main focus, as opposed to some of the other applications out there that were built just top down. So we were very ERP centric when building these applications, because that's what we've done since about $19.99. So that's our main focus as an organization. So those are the pieces or flavors of our product. The next piece I'm going to hit here is to give you an example of the B2B customer portal. So trying to keep this presentation quick and sweet, or short and sweet, probably a better way to put it. But essentially this screenshot here is what you would typically see in a B2B type portal. So when a customer logs into your site, we can build out this type of concept where they can shop through a generic online catalog, which is very common and you're probably very familiar with. But the key piece here is the B2B customer that's logged in. It's all tied to Sage 100 customer account data. So when I'm looking at products, they are priced accordingly based on how the pricing hierarchy is set up on my account in Sage 100. I can also go in here and track past orders, whether they're open, whether there's back orders, shipment tracking information coming from the invoice header in Sage 100. This is all talking very, very well and in real time with Sage 100 data to communicate that to your customer. So the idea or the main premise here is to provide that self-service option to customers, so they don't have to call you up or your customer service team up rather and ask, hey, what's the status of this current order? What's the shipment tracking? Have I paid this invoice? This is just trying to leverage your data to better serve your customers and give them a better customer experience, ultimately protecting or better providing for your existing customer base and also giving you a mechanism to onboard new customers because you have this type of ability. So keep that in mind. This is just a quick snippet of the B2B customer side. So this is what your customers would be utilizing online with their account information, and being able to self-serve anytime, 24/7. This is all responsive, so smartphone, big screen TV, laptop, it would all display accordingly to the device they're on. So that's the customer portal. The employee tools, so this is another concept that goes into the customer interaction management platform or the SimCloud platform. This is all in the same application, but the login is tied to a different user. So in this case here, again, this is just a screenshot, but this is essentially what a sales rep or an internal employee from your organization, when they log in, we flag them as an internal employee, and it's showing them metrics based on data coming from Sage 100. So the sales volume, the order volume, the average order total, this is all data driven from invoice history in Sage 100. You can also see we have top products there in the bottom right that's showing which products are being moved most frequently. The neat thing here is we can chop this data up any way you want. So a use case there would be, I am signed in as a sales rep for your organization. My rep code is 21. Well, it's going to show all of this data summed up for my accounts that rep code 21 is tied to in Sage 100. So that's just a quick example of how we can chop that up. It's also giving me sales history, invoice aging globally to kind of see a current snapshot or status of all the invoices in Sage 100 and what that looks like. Again, this is all accessible remotely because it's now in the cloud and driven through the SimCloud application. So it definitely leverages a lot of the existing data and infrastructure you have with Sage 100, but better prepares your organization as far as your sales reps or customer service reps to serve your customers. So ultimately trying to drive efficiency and provide a better experience for not only your customers, but also your employees. So that's a snapshot of the employee side. Gives you a good idea of what's going on there. So the next thing I'm hitting here, this is the assessment. So I know we were talking about what your digital transformation status looks like, what you're doing to try to plan for that as a leadership team strategically for 2019, 2020, and so on. What we have done is we have created a customer interaction management capabilities health check, and this is free to anyone that would like to have this information. But essentially, we've created this assessment in a way where you as a business leader or your executive team can go through and kind of see what the current status is on what you're providing to your customer base as far as self-service options, what type of CRM tools you have, ultimately trying to optimize all of your interactions, getting you further down the digital transformation journey by using the SimCloud platform and leveraging your Sage 100 data. Again, future-proofing that Sage 100 so you can get the benefits and the features of what some of the new cloud ERP solutions are trying to pitch to you. So if you'd like this information, definitely reach out to CMS. They'd be more than happy to link you up with us, and we can provide that to you and your team so you guys can go through as a leadership organization and fill this out and see where you stand, just give you some context of where some pitfalls might be and where we can help you out from a SimCloud standpoint of our applications. So I hope you enjoyed the webinar today and got some insightful information. Best of luck to you, and I hope business continues to go strong for you as we go through 2019. Thanks.